Hi, did you know Mandy's a geek? Hi, so I did a review last week of my comics haul. Well, it was this week, it wasn't just gone. Um, and one of the comics that I reviewed was Invincible Universe Battle Beast, and I raved over it. I loved it, thought it was fantastic. And I've never read any Invincible comics at all. I've seen the first season of the TV series. It's okay. I'm more into. I like anime. I just find American animation a bit. So after reading Battle Beast, it perked me interest. Thought I need to try Invincible. So I went to my local comic shop, and with Invincible, there's a lot of different types of formats. You've got your compendiums, you've got your hardback collectors, which I think are like 5 volumes, and I think there's a big um, omnibus as well. But they also do them in this format, in like a just slightly bigger than a tankaban, than a manga book. Um, and thought, yeah, I'll go for this because at my local comic shop, do a 3 for 2 as well. And they're not too. I like about this. It comes in. It's a nice handy size. Paper's really thick stock, and you get about 7 to 6 issues each book. And so it's just nice bite-sized chunks, not too much. So you think you've got to commit to a whole 500-page book or whatever. So roughly about 160, 170 pages. So yeah, I'll see what it's like. I'll try the first one and see how it goes. And it got me interested. So initially, Ryan Otley wasn't the artist for the first 7 issues. On the first 7 issues, it was Corey Walker who ended up being the storyboard artist for um, the um, the animated series. What they're doing now. So I'll read the synopsis. It says Mark Grayson is just like most everyone else his age, except his father is the most powerful superhero on the planet, Omni-Man. When Mark develops powers of his own, it's a dream come true. But living up to his father's legacy is only the beginning of Mark's problems. So if you've seen the TV series, you know the big twist with his dad, the big reveal. But this definitely fills in more gaps than the TV series does, obviously because this is the source material. Corey Walker's art is good, but I understand how Ryan Otley became the fan favourite when he took over. Um, there's definitely much more of a style. He had much more of an interesting style. It's very interesting setup with his dad, even before the big reveal. Basically, it's got to be intentional, but they never elaborate on it. But it looks like all the male inhabitants of his home planet have tashes, have mustaches. So they all have these big, heavy tashes. It's like that's a look. So it's a Planet Burt Reynolds, basically, uh, or Magnum PI. Um, so yeah, it's got a very different vibe to the animated TV series. I like the writing of the villains in this much more. It's not as it doesn't feel as OTT. And this you got to think this was 20 years ago. So Robert Kirkman would have only been in his mid 20s, something like that. He's only about 46, something like that now. Um, and it shows in the first few issues. But the dialogue initially in the first volume is clunky, but it's very clever. I know I've done 7 issues first book, because it finishes on the big reveal about his dad, the big twist about his dad, which I'm not going to reveal because some people want to have seen the TV series and want to read the books. But if you've seen the TV series, then you know. Um, but even though I knew that was coming, it was still a shock to the system, and much more so in how to do it in the comic. Because with the comic, you get the shock surprise by turning the page. It's not just next second there it is. You control the speed of the reveal, and it was great. So yeah, that whetted my appetite. Like the whetted my appetite. The story, it didn't feel whole. The storytelling beats didn't feel complete in the first volume. But oh my goodness, when it comes on to the second one, I understand why it becomes a fan favourite. Ryan Otley definitely elevates the art style. Now, there's a character here, an investigator. I thought, oh, that's a Rorschach parody. and it kind of is, but it's also the demon Etrigan at the same time, which don't you realize later on, just the face reveal. So yeah, what I like about this. This is definitely Spider-Man for the 21st century. Um, it's not as PG, definitely not as PG. So teenagers of this set of the 21st century can relate to this, find this much more relatable. He's just your average student. He's having parent trouble. Obviously, big star with this one, say no more. And he's got girl problems. Girls are suddenly getting interested in him, and he doesn't know how to handle that because, again, like Peter, he's a bit of a bookworm, a bit of a student. He's a high scoring student, and it's just the natural friendships he's got at school as well. They flow very real, and Kirkman's definitely. I found much more like the testing ground the first 7 issues, but with this one, he's definitely feeling the beats of the characters, and you get to know and like and sometimes love the characters in this. And the villains are really, really likable in this as well. At the same time, the villains, but the twins in it are very, very intriguing and interesting. There's a good side bit with a parody of Star Trek in here as well. This character is so good. He's quickly becoming one of my favourites. Even though after seeing the cartoon series, I've got Seth Rogen's voice in my head now whenever I see that character. Thanks a lot. So there we go. But yeah, it's got. I mean, there's a lot of tweaks and nods and tip of the hats to the Justice League and Avengers. You can see like carbon copies of that, very much like Marvel did with the Squadron Supreme being a carbon copy of the Justice League. It's got that warm pastiche kind of element to it, and it's got the interpersonal squabbling what you want in a superhero team as well, which is great. But with the added bonus of a lot of the team that he's with, they're teens or late teens, early 20s, so they've got everything's overly dramatic. Everything's got much more focus on. Oh, you why do you I hate you? So yeah, it's good. It's got a very natural feel, and the artwork you can see Ryan Otley's style. It's still post Part Two's work in Battle Beast, but you can see the evolution from issue to issue. I really love how Robert Kirkman writes Invincible's mum. She's quickly becoming my favourite character. Initially, she thought she had the golden spoon. She won the golden ticket with meeting his dad, and now she's basically realised it's covered in shit. And it's doing a very good way of. Oh, can't show that. It's doing. Oh, can't show that. Can't show that. It's doing a very good way of showing the impact of his dad's reveal, how it's impacted them, impacted the whole world, and it elaborates more on the true story of his dad's background of not the Disneyfied one that he actually told his son and his wife initially, and you reveal what a bastard his dad is. And the fight scene in this in the cartoon, there's a fight scene between him and his dad, and it's good, but not a patch on what you get in here. And I love the lettering of this. It's very much classic. It's got very much of a John Workman style of lettering from or Ken Brusniak, who did Harry Shaken, and John Workman on the stuff he did with What's Simpson on Thor. So I love that. I really do like that kind of lettering. It's yeah, I'm really really happy with that. And so we're now 13 issues in, and this is the book that clinched it for me. I'm invested. I'm going to try and get like two, 2 or 3 books a month, so shouldn't be. So I should hopefully collect the full series within a year, and I must do like irregular updates on these. Would I recommend this to people who've never read it before? Yes. If you've read Battle Beast, you don't need to read this, but it's fun, and I can't wait to when do see Battle Beast in here. And I think this is a really fun format to collect it in. I like how it's just like got one character on the cover, like each one's a different color, and when they're all lined up, they look really, really good. Very, very similar kind of feel to a manga book, a tankobon. But yeah, I would give this a high recommendation. I'd give it 8 out of 10 because I do think, from what I've heard, it gets even better. So I'll save my higher praises for later. But yeah, if you've never read it, this is a good way to get it. It's affordable, and if you've got a shop like mine where they do 3 for 2, this is you can get 3 books for £26, something like that. Okay, bye.